a very important and interesting topic in history for the class 5th. Before we start the lesson, let us pray to Lord Hayagriva, the God of learning. Jnananandamayam devam nirmalaspatikakritim adharam sarvavidyanam hayagrivam Dear students, hope you have completed the assignment given by Hema ma'am for the lesson community. Now take your notebook and check the answers, children. Fill in the blanks. Groups of people living in dense forests or hilly regions are called tribal communities. Soligas are tribal people who live in Mysuru. Jainu Kurubas are tribes from Kodagu. Koragas are from Udupi or Dakshina Kannada region. The main occupation of tribals of forest region is hunting. Jainu Kuruba's main occupation is beekeeping. Children, observe these pictures carefully. What do you understand through this? Here we have the pictures of various dance forms of India, different festivals celebrated in India, and a group of children praying to God. What do these pictures tell about? These pictures describe the culture of India. Culture refers to our attitudes, beliefs, languages, customs, rituals, behavior, religion, food, art like music, dance, drama, etc. Culture includes the traditions we inherit and pass on to the next generation. Children, do you know which is the most ancient culture in India? The most ancient culture in India is the Vedic culture. So, today you are going to understand the lesson, the culture during the Vedic period. In the lesson, the culture of the Vedic period, you are going to understand about the establishment of Vedic culture in India, meaning of Veda and its types, and also the life of people during the Vedic period. Children, are you eagerly waiting to know about all these concepts? Fine, let's start the lesson.
During ancient times, people used to travel or migrate from one place to another in search of livelihood. They were called nomads. Who are nomads? Nomads are the people who migrate from one place to another in search of their livelihood. In the same manner, a group of nomads migrated to India from Central Asia to establish their livelihood. Can you see the arrow mark in the map given below? This will show the path of nomads. These nomads introduced a new culture in India. This culture is called Vedic culture. People respected these nomads and called them Aryans. In Sanskrit, Arya means noble person or respectable person. Now, let us recall what is Vedic culture. A new culture emerged in India with the arrival of Aryans from Central Asia. This is called Vedic culture. I'll repeat, you also repeat along with me. A new culture emerged in India with the arrival of Aryans from Central Asia. This is called Vedic culture. Where did Aryans settle in India? Aryans settled on the banks of the river Saraswati. Children, can you think what was the reason behind this? We all know that water is very essential for our life. Water is very important for farming, animal rearing, and other day-to-day activities. So, Aryans settled in the plains of river Saraswati and established Vedic culture. You can see the pink color lines in the map. This is the path of river Saraswati, which flows in the western part of India. Let us recall. Where did Aryans settle in India? Aryans settled on the banks of the river Saraswati. I'll repeat. You also repeat along with me. Aryans settled on the banks of the river Saraswati.
Meaning of Veda. Vedic culture is based on the Vedic scriptures or Shastras called Vedas. Veda comes from the word Ved, which means to know. Veda means eternal knowledge. Eternal knowledge means the knowledge which doesn't have a beginning or end. The language used in these scriptures was Sanskrit. Children, now tell me what is the meaning of Veda? The meaning of Veda is knowledge. I'll repeat. The meaning of Veda is knowledge. Vedas are also known as Shruti because they were not composed. They were heard on the banks of the river Saraswati by rishis. These Veda mantras were heard and taught by gurus to their disciples orally. They were not written for a long time. Later, when they were written, Veda Vyasa classified into 4 divisions. The original name of Maharshi Veda Vyasa is Krishna Dvaipayana. He is called Veda Vyasa because he classified the Vedas. Every year, Ashada Shukla Paurnami is celebrated as Guru Purnima or Vyasa Purnima, which marked the birthday of Maharshi Vedavyasa. Now tell me, children, who classified the Vedas into 4 volumes? Maharshi Vedavyasa classified the Vedas into 4 volumes. These 4 Vedas are identified by different names. They are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Atharvana Veda. I'll repeat. You also repeat along with me. The 4 Vedas are the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Atharvana Veda.
Vedic periods. Vedic periods are classified into two categories. They are pre-Vedic period and post-Vedic period. What is pre-Vedic period? The period during the Rig Veda is called pre-Vedic period. Then what is post-Vedic period? The period after the Rig Veda, that is, during the time of Yajurveda, Samaveda and the Atharvana Veda. That period is called post-Vedic period. Now tell me children, how are Vedic periods classified? The Vedic periods are classified into pre-Vedic period and post-Vedic period. What is pre-Vedic period? The period during the Rig Veda is called pre-Vedic period. What is post-Vedic period? The period after the Rig Veda is called post-Vedic period. Social life during the pre-Vedic period. Now, let us understand how was the society during the pre-Vedic period. People used to stay in groups and family system was also started. So, joint family system was in practice. Father was head of the family and used to take decisions for the welfare of the family. Mother also played a major role here. There were another class in the society who were treated like slaves. Do you know who are these slaves? They are the people who work without any payment. These slaves were called dasas and dasyus. Who were these dasas and dasyus? They were the prisoners of war.
Position of women during the pre-Vedic period. During the pre-Vedic period, women had a respectable position in the society. They even participated in political institutions. Women also studied Vedas. Ghosha, Apala, Lopamudra, Indrani, Vishwavara, etc. were the women scholars during the Vedic period. Widow remarriage was in practice. Child marriage and sati system were not practiced. Children, do you know what is sati system? Let us understand about that.
Sati system. This is a Hindu practice whereby a widow burning herself to death or being burned to death on the funeral pyre of her husband, or to enter into the fire along with the dead body of the husband. This was an evil practice in the society which started during the post-Vedic period. But during Rigvedic period, sati system and child marriage were not practiced. So, we can conclude that people were broad-minded and women enjoyed high status during Rigvedic period.
Economic life during pre-Vedic period. During pre-Vedic period, people were allowed to choose a profession of their choice. Rearing animals was the basic occupation of Aryans. Cows were considered as wealth, and very often battles took place to gain them. A group of people were engaged in establishing the new culture and also in various religious activities. So, priesthood was another important occupation of Aryans. Children, what were considered as wealth during pre-Vedic period? Cows were considered as wealth during the pre-Vedic period.
Aryans were familiar with sowing and harvesting also. So, agriculture was another important occupation of the people. They grew a variety of cereals like rice, barley, wheat, etc. The weavers of wool and cotton were in existence. There were carpenters, potters, blacksmiths, etc. So, let us recall, children. Which are the major occupations of the people during the pre-Vedic period? Priesthood, animal husbandry, agriculture, weaving, pottery making, carpentry, etc. were the major occupations of Aryans. I'll repeat. You also repeat along with me. Priesthood, animal husbandry, agriculture, weaving, pottery making, carpentry were the major occupations of Aryans.
Children, hope you have enjoyed the lesson, The Culture of the Vedic Period. Now, let us recall what you have learned today. Vedic culture was established by Aryans in India. Meaning of Veda is knowledge. Vedic culture was established on the banks of the river Saraswati. Maharshi Vedavyasa classified the Vedas into 4 volumes. There are 4 Vedas, namely Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvana Veda. Joint families were in existence during pre-Vedic period. Women had a respectable position in the society. The main occupations during Vedic age were agriculture, rearing of animals, weaving, pottery making, etc.
Dear students, here are some of the important questions from today's topic. Solve these exercises and we will discuss the answers in the next session. Fill in the blanks. The meaning of Veda is the Vedic culture established on the banks of the river The period during the Rig Veda is called. Who were treated like slaves during Vedic period? What were considered as wealth during the Vedic period? Give 2 examples for the following. Women scholars during the Vedic period and occupations during the Vedic period. Children, let us discuss few more important concepts from the same lesson in the next class. Until then, keep learning, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.